I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Tharindu Ameresekere. He is a senior lecturer at the Postgraduate Institute of Management, SJP, specializing in finance, marketing, communication skills, sustainability, and digital disruption. Mr. Tharindu has also been coaching students for the CIMA Professional Qualification for over 15 years. He's also founder of the award-winning digital agency TAC and a national public speaking champion in Toastmasters, being the first Toastmaster in Sri Lanka to be ranked #1 in 3 competition categories. In 2015, he won the District 82 Table Topics Championship, and in 2023, the Double Championships in Humorous Speaking and International Speech Contest. He has also hosted the weekend Business Talk Show Bisnomics on TV1, and his publications in academia have been recognized in the AIB South Asian Conference 2022, hosted by the Indian Institute of Management. Also, the Global Winter Business Conference in France and the World Education Summit in Malaysia. Mr. Tharindu has obtained his first degree in computer science with honors from the University of Staffordshire and his MBA in marketing from the University of Colombo and his master's in project management from the University of Southern Queensland in Australia. He has also completed the CIMA Management Accounting Qualification as well as the PQHRM qualification from CIPM, and is also a certified NLP coach from the American Board of NLP. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Tharindu. Over to you, sir.
Pleasure, Dr. Sandeep. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to be joining this conference. The WIMAYA conference is always takes a very special place in my heart. I've been part of it for the past so many years consecutively. A big thank you to the organizers. I keep getting invited. I believe I must be doing something right every year. So absolute pleasure to be here. I was to present, co-present this together with my director, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, but as you all may know, Sri Lanka is facing a massive cyclone right now in all parts of the country. There's multiple relief efforts being spearheaded by different parties, and being in the government sector, our campus also gets involved in some of these. There are multiple administrative issues to be looked at. So unfortunately, my director, Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, is not with us here today to present, but I have a message from him which I will first read, after which I will straight away dive into my presentation. I quote with this message: I send my sincere regards and all the very best of wishes to the 5th WIMAYA International Conference 2025, dedicated towards smart management, better technology, and accounting for sustainable growth. My colleague, Mr. Tharindu Ameresekere, and I, we have chosen the theme, the topic of this new paradigm shift of marketing, which is quantum marketing, an area which a lot of organizations are adopting and requires the attention of the academic community more so ever than before now. Quantum marketing is a concept which needs to be embraced, and by selecting this theme for the keynote, together with Tharindu, I have decided that this will add more value to the conference, to the knowledge that is being created here, and will hopefully set ablaze a new path, a new trail in which there will be more academia, members of the academia selecting this for further research, because this is the future of marketing for the foreseeable future. I hope the presentation that Tharindu and I have put together, which will be presented by Mr. Tharindu Ameresekere today, as I am unable to attend due to attending to multiple national duties, will be insightful and create curiosity to further the research in this domain in your chosen empirical different areas. Wishing you all the very best for the conference. Dr. Asanga Ranasinghe, unquote. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will dive into my presentation together with my director. We have done a basic study on this, put together this presentation for this keynote, and I will now present it. May I share my screen?
Please, sir. We can see your slides.
Lovely. So I won't ask the question whether you have heard of the term marketing, because being in academia, being practitioners, we all have heard this term. Even in academics, when we do a conference, for example, this event required marketing, and I've seen over the years the amount of international level world-class efforts that have gone in for towards marketing this great conference. But the new paradigm shift, and in academia, we are always about the next big thing. It's our duty as members of the global academic community to prepare the world for the next big thing. And when it comes to marketing, the shared passion that Dr. Asanga and I both have in common, marketing was my MBA domain, and currently for my doctorate that I'm reading for, and for which I'm publishing, once again, marketing and branding is my domain as well. Given all this, the new paradigm shift in marketing is what is being defined as quantum marketing. Let's try to understand this a little bit better. Let's try to understand this, what this is about, because whether we like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is the future, right? This is the future that that we are all looking for. Right? Now, what does this mean? What is the definition of quantum marketing? Let's try to get that first. So quantum marketing is a term, and mind you, this is an area of marketing that is still pretty much being explored. But the idea is the application of quantum principles like superposition, entanglement, uncertainty towards marketing strategies and practices. Yes, it involves looking at data, AI, and other technologies, but also it requires us to unlearn, rethink almost everything we have learned about marketing so far. We thought that customers can be put into groups. That is being challenged by quantum marketing. We have learned and we have been taught that marketing involves understanding one stage of a customer. Now we are being told, and we are exploring the fact that no, a customer will never remain in one stage at a given time. Why? Because they are always shifting between multiple different states. So quantum marketing can be seen as, in fact, the great unlearning and rethinking of marketing in today's context. In fact, if you take a basic atom, the nucleus structure, we've been always told that around this atom, you get these different electrons always jumping around. They're never in one place. That exactly defines today's customers. Right? Those days when customers would read papers, they read the papers only. Now, while looking at a paper, if they read the paper anymore actually, but while they look at the paper, they'll also get bombarded with a SMS. And they will also be given another notification by one of the many apps that they are having. A customer is no longer staying in one fixed position, but rather jumping all over at a given time. Just like particles of electrons around one given atom, how it doesn't stay in one position. This is what we call applying of quantum marketing and quantum principles into marketing. It's actually, one can even define it as a marketing mindset that requires marketers to keep adapting in real time and trying to understand right now what's going on in the customer, and never thinking, okay, we figured out the customer, we have understood the customer, because the customer himself can't understand himself anymore because they are changing so much and they are changing so rapidly. So it's basically designing a marketing function for complexity, for better networks, for better identity, fluidity, accepting the fact that customers' own identity of him or herself will be changing all the time, and being ready for connecting with these rapid behavioral shifts. If you take a look at from the fashion industry, a basic example, ladies and gentlemen, will be the fact that long time back, fashion was always there for 4 seasons. And we could say winter, summer, autumn, and spring. And you might remember fashion came in these seasons. Few years ago, actually a few decades ago, Zara, when the Zara brand launched, they said, no, this is not the case anymore. Customers don't really want to wait for 3 months for new fashion. In fact, customers would like a new fashion every weekend. So they started introducing 2 different style collections once a week, which meant 2 into 52. Zara started giving fashion in 104 weeks instead of the 104 seasons of fashion rather than just the 4 fashion seasons. This was, I mean, though there was a term of content marketing back then, identifies how customers are no longer willing to wait for just one season or one element or for one identified time period, but they are always changing into different positions. So the main features we see of content marketing, it's ambiguity friendly. You're ready to embrace the rapid changes, emotional and data driven connection, fast experiments. You can never really settle on one, and you have to like try fast, fail fast, learn fast, and supply the right product fast, right? Omni-touch storytelling. Your brand story has to be present across multiple channels, not just one. Right? So these are some of the features we see. In fact, as my mentor in marketing and my director, Dr. Asang, and I, we both identified this is easily the next big revolution of marketing. We have the production concept, where it was all about getting a product out efficiently. The product concept, meaning we saw how companies focused on giving the product they thought was right. Then came selling, somehow to sell. Then came marketing, as we know, the basic fundamental approach to understand, identify, satisfy customer needs and wants in a profitable manner, which later evolved into societal marketing, where you do all that in a socially responsible, environmentally responsible manner, and which built on the holistic marketing concept, where we said marketing has to go beyond the marketing function, marketing department, and whether you're in supply chain or HR or operations, you are into marketing. And today we have the new step of this evolution, which is quantum marketing, understanding how when the customer himself is not settled, marketing function cannot be settled into one state, one position, or one mindset, but it has to have that evolving, evolutionary look towards the towards marketing, right, towards the customer. If there are any questions, you are most welcome to raise them over the chat. I am having one eye on the chat as well. In fact, gone are the days, I believe even presenters can just present and wait for questions at the end. The audience will have questions as we present, so you are most welcome to raise it. I'll apply the quantum principle of jumping between my presentation and my and the Q&A, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, any queries that may come up in your mind as you listen to this presentation. Now, in other words, we call this the great shift of mindset. Take a look at this. We had the earlier marketing would involve a massive, like a very classical mindset, right? We call it the Newtonian marketing. Linear customer journey. You might remember customer identifies the needs, will evaluate alternatives, will then make the decision, then the post-purchase. But today, you can do a post-purchase evaluation before you even buy. You take a platform like booking.com, you go there, before you book the hotel, you will see what comments other people are giving. So that gives you an insight towards the post-purchase journey, even before you have made the purchase, right? Those days we said we can fit the customer into a rigid persona. And we had a very simple linear approach: predict, plan, execute. People made decisions in silos, right? Like digital was separate, retail was separate, then also data heavy forecasting. Today, in quantum marketing, we say, no, it's a different approach because it's not linear. Maybe customer has not even identified the need, but when the customer sees an advertisement or something, we will feel like buying. Maybe the customer is not yet haven't decided to buy, but already looking at what people who have already bought, what they're saying about it, right? And there is no longer this rigid person, or you can't say young males as one category. No, you'll have young males who are digital savvy, and in digital savvy also only those who are using TikTok. I mean, those days when you say young males, you can give a rigid persona and say 99% of young males will have this behavior. When multiple channels emerge, when multiple generations emerge, we are looking at a world where we are marketing to 5 different generations, starting from the classical generation to the baby boomers to the millennials to the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, and now even the Gen Beta is born, right? And soon we'll be marketing to them, at least to their parents. What you need to understand is that we cannot any longer fit them into one particular profile, and that this is changing all the time. It's no longer also about a linear approach because we have to test it, learn, we have to adapt, and then we have to scale. Right? In other words, we call this term perpetual beta. Today, you're always doing changes to your product and testing because today your product might fit the customer's requirement, but given the nature of quantum marketing that they don't stay fixed in one state, when they evolve, so should your product. Right? And interconnected touch points from the phone app to the store to the web experience comment section, all of this is getting interconnected. So to understand a few essential elements of this, number one, uncertainty. Marketers today, if you're practicing quantum marketing, you need to embrace uncertainty. That's a must. Right? That's an absolute must. Number two, superposition in customer journey. We acknowledge and accept and understand the fact that customers at a given time will be in multiple states, like they might be browsing a product while also being ready to purchase. They are no longer going to browse, gather data and purchase. No. When they are browsing itself, they might be ready to purchase if they see the right offer. Right? So you need real-time adaptation by marketers. There is also the strong entanglement for connected experiences, which means that customer might see you in the store, then go online and check what you're doing and what you're offering, then make the next decision later or buy immediately. Sometimes, and today, not only on web and all, even on ChatGPT, the amount of people searching for product suggestions on ChatGPT is massive. So how can your brand appear on AI platforms like ChatGPT or Perplexity, on which a lot of the searching and a lot of the product researching takes place? And interestingly, the marketing has also been coined as by the MasterCard CMO Rajamana, who was one of the, and who still is one of the biggest advocates for quantum marketing, was the fact that he defined this as the fifth paradigm, which means after product, emotional, data-driven, and digital marketing, this is the next approach, a holistic mindset where the entire organization gets involved in marketing and sees marketing as a common role of the whole organization, while acknowledging how fickle the customer mindset and states are today, along with understanding that while we use digital, marketing also has to keep the brand as human as possible. I'll give an example. A big concern of modern day consumers has become the privacy, right? A big concern has become the privacy. Okay? Privacy meaning, as we know, is my data being used against my wish? Is my data being used against what I prefer? Or my data being used to target ads and all towards me? And what do I get in return? So when you use all these Chrome or Firefox, etc., data about us are being stored, and that data might be used to personalize some advertisements. But for giving our data, what do we get? Almost, I mean, it's not almost, it's absolutely nothing. But you take a browser like Brave. Today, Brave is saying, look, for having your data used, we are going to give you points, and you can use these points to make certain purchases. That's the reward you are getting for, right? That's the reward you're getting for the for giving data to us, for sharing data with us. All right. Then, in other words, it's also about keeping marketing human, right? Despite all the technological sophistication, quantum marketing acknowledges the fact that marketing must remain human, right? It's important. So the idea is that we keep marketing in a human state, meaning we try to see, okay, how can our marketing efforts, whatever we are providing, the products and services, etc., how can it further provide solutions to some of the challenges, problems, and issues that customers are facing. Like, for example, is it possible to make some of the products that are offered match some of the states of the customers, which traditional marketing might ignore? We'll take an example, right? The credit cards we use, our bank cards that we use. Now, traditionally, all cards come alike in the same shape. Now, when we look at our purse, if we are blessed with proper eyesight, we know, okay, this is my credit card, this is my debit card, this is my driving license, and so on. But you take someone who is visually impaired, a very important customer segment today, especially in this era of inclusive marketing, that customer will understand things by touch. And it's almost impossible to touch and understand which card is what. So what did some companies like MasterCard do? They started offering some of these cards, like their credit cards, with a different shape. So that way, when a visually impaired person touches the card, from the shape of the edges, he or she will know whether this is actually the credit card or the debit card or a different card. It's a simple application, but it involves acknowledging the challenge that a fellow human being is facing, and that the brand is actually doing something in return, and at hardly a fraction of a extra cost or anything for the company or the customer. Given the scale of cards and all they would be supporting, it's no major impact as well on their as a percentage of the total amount spent on cards. So what you need to understand is that this is what quantum marketing is about. We are not only, while we embrace technology, we are also making marketing more human, which is indeed the need of the hour, the need of the times, as identified by parties, right? Finally, before I move into the Q&A, I would like to, as I move into my last element, we also say this is about the age of hyper-personalization. Age of hyper-personalization, meaning companies use hyper-personalization to acknowledge the fact that if you have 1 million customers today, that means you have 1 million market segments. Each and every customer is a unique, separate customer segment by itself. If you look at some of the, one of the most famous books authored once was called Elephants Can Dance, about how large companies like IBM went through major, massive changes. Similarly, in this age of hyper-personalization, ladies and gentlemen, we see some of the largest players of the global digital economy: Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, and Starbucks, of course, not necessarily digital economy, but the general economy. Sephora, once again, one of the largest beauty care operators in the world. They are having an attitude of hyper-personalization. Today, Spotify, for its millions of users, will customize the playlists. They will adjust the playlist and all that to match their needs. Netflix matches the content to match your need. They would know what kind of a content you're in the mood for in the weekend, what kind of a content you're in the mood for at a given time. Amazon, one of the largest business in the world, in fact, the biggest company in the world at one time, and even today in terms of operations, one of the largest, they customize the suggestions, the products being offered to different individuals depending on their requirement, depending on their situation. So if these large companies can adopt it, all the other organizations also need to adopt it. Even in academia, we might have large intakes of students, but are we customizing it? Are we accepting it? Are we acknowledging it? The fact that these different students who join, they all have different paths, they have different journeys to fulfill. How can our academic experience we provide for them match that? And at PIM, we've started to look at multiple programs where we can customize the learning experience to match the end goal of each student rather than putting them into groups based on seniority or job function or anything like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the case is quite clear with it that we live in an era of hyper-personalization. Marketing has to start looking at each customer as a separate segment because we absolutely have understood the fact that we can't fit them into rigid personas, right? We can't fit them into rigid personas anymore. And customers themselves are not staying in one state, one position for a longer time period, which simply means that we need to start accepting the need for us to be agile, the need for us to change from time to time. When the customers are always agitated and shifting into multiple states, our marketing also has to adapt in real time to match for this requirement that they would be having. And we hope, my director, Dr. Asanga, and I, we hope that this keynote we presented today will encourage you to further take up research on this area, especially if there are any students here who are majoring in marketing, who are keen on marketing. Ladies and gentlemen and young scholars, this is the next step of marketing, the next phase of marketing, and we are still at the very early dawn of it. As it continues to become mainstream, if you get started in research in this area right now, I believe you'll be able to set ablaze a new trail of marketing that will develop more insights that will help companies to become better with their customers, and as academia of marketing and branding help you to stay more relevant as well. So thank you very much for this opportunity, for listening to us. And on behalf of PIM Business School and on behalf of Dr. Sangarana Singha and Tharindu Ameresekere, it was an absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to present this to you. I will also share my email address via the chat. If anyone is keen to connect for further research, for further collaboration, you are most welcome to reach out to me. Thank you so much, and wishing the rest of the conference all the very best. Over to you, moderators.
Mr. Tharindu, thank you very much for that Mr. Tharindu, thank you very much for that very interesting talk about the concept of quantum marketing and humanizing marketing, a human approach to marketing. And certainly we can see that it's already becoming mainstream. So thank you for that. Please do, we do have questions at the end. So
sure. I'll be around. I'll be around.
That'll be great. And also, thank you. Please do thank from all of us, Dr. Sangha Ranasinghe. We understand he will be there, and we wish him well, and hope that he and his colleagues and family are safe.